We begin on the Punch newspaper this morning, and it's screaming, rising insecurity. Federal government orders new strategy amidst fresh attacks in Borno and Benue, with the writer, Army Captain Benue, APC chieftain, others killed as terrorists wreak havoc on both states. All right. Still on the Punch, U.S. helicopter firm indicted in Wigwe's death. Labour Party crisis, Abure probe begins, Kingibe, others suspended. All right, still on that, we still have some headlines on the Punch. Benue governor alleges removal plots as Speaker's conference tackles National Assembly. Senate passes 2 tax bills, rejects 10% VAT. Power Minister opposes construction of 4,800 megawatts nuclear plants. VDM released after 5 days in EFCC custody. Local government poll, Lagos APC pushes for consensus candidates in 57 councils. All right, all the details you can find on the Punch. Now over to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. On the Tribune this morning, one party state, Jonathan warns against backdoor manipulations. Negligence, pilots, error responsible for Wigwe's death, says reports. Nel Fund denies fraud allegations, explains how agency disbursed 54 billion naira to 298,000 students from 303 tertiary institutions. Court stops Ekiti PDP local government congress. Labour Party crisis, Abure-led National Working Committee suspends OT, Kingibe, Nwokocha, others. Namadi-led LP gives Abure 48 hours to stop parading himself as chairman. NCC raises disciplinary panel, probes corruption allegations, abuse of office, passes vote of confidence in OP and OT. Benue governor rejects reps committee invitation, approaches Supreme Court to challenge it. Says opposition planning to remove him. Speakers of state assemblies say invitation overreach of constitutional authority. Bagudu, local council's words must transform to centers of inclusive development. Black smoke seen from Sistine Chapel as 133 cardinals enter conclave to elect new pope. All right, and we're moving now to the next paper, but before then, let's just tell you, 21 out of 24 reps defectors joined APC since July. Senate passes 2 tax reform bills, retains VAT company tax as at 7.5% and 30%. Federal government working with foreign and local allies to trace sources of terrorist drones, says Defense Minister. All the details on the Tribune. Now to the Guardian newspaper. On the Guardian this morning, tax reform advances as Senate debates closes, retains VAT at 7.5%. Military kills over 13,000 terrorists, rescue 10,000 hostages in 2 years. We've disbursed 54 billion naira to 303 schools, 293,000 students, says Nel Fund. Ganduje ready to welcome Kwankwaso as defections hit NNPP. Probe detects pilot error, indicts company in Wigwe's helicopter crash. Federal government to fast-track cash transfers to 15 million households. Court admits tapes of Kanu ordering Tinubu's Wike's death, a burning of federal government property. Court admits tapes of Kanu ordering Tinubu Wike's death, burning of federal government property. 500 aspirants jostle for 57 council chairmanship seats in Lagos. Lagos Bank of Industry Sterling Bank pool 10 billion naira to empower businesses, creates 10,000 jobs. 2027 LP imperiled by counter sanctions, defections, and infighting. All the details you can find on The Guardian. Now over to the Nation newspaper. On the Nation, IMF confirms Nigeria's full repayment of $3.4 billion COVID-19 loan. It's interesting. IMF confirms Nigeria's full repayment of $3.4 billion COVID-19 loan. It's interesting, really. Court admits Kanu's inciting broadcasts videos as exhibits. Black smoke signaled no pope elected on day one. Bagudu Council's wards must become centers of development. NAF boosts air power against terrorists with 9 fighter jets. With the rider, 49 more aircraft coming. Badaru terrorist leaders among 13,543 killed. Labour Party suspends OT, Kingibe and others. Now to the Daily Trust. LP suspends Abia Governor Kingibe for orders. IGP sets up special police unit for elites protection. Flying Eagles reach AFCON quarterfinals. One-party state dangerous for Nigeria, says Jonathan. Insecurity Minister, National Assembly, differ. Apprentice impregnates boss's daughter, 9 others in 5 months. Should be a very strong man. Apprentice impregnates boss's daughter, 9 others in 5 months. Ooh, here we go. It's a new society being built. Senate retains 7.5% VAT. OK's tax appeal tribunal. Soldiers, insurgents die in battle over Borno community. And now to the This Day newspaper. Wigwe's helicopter crash due to negligence, pilot's error, NTSB reveals. Jonathan introducing one-party state VAT backdoor invitation to crisis. With the right, Obi says labor of Nigeria's founders in vain. Flays double standard of protesters under Jonathan. Ohanes Ndibo, keeping Nigeria united requires deliberate efforts. Finally, Senate passes 2 tax reform bills, retains 7.5% VAT. With the rider, federal government gets 10%, states get 55%, local governments 35%, defines derivative as place of consumption, OK's tax appeal tribunal establishment, changes FIRS to NRS, chairman to be named executive vice chairman, tax agency to get 2% of costs collection. All right, that's all on the headlines on the dailies this morning. We have our reviewer live in the studio with us this morning. Chris Maduka, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Charles. Good morning, our dear listener viewers across the globe.
Interesting developments out of the headlines this morning. Goodluck Jonathan, the former president of Nigeria, is warning about manipulations from the back door, about making Nigeria a one-party state, which seems to be what APC, led by President Tinubu, is doing.
Yeah, you are right to say it seems, but I am not wanting to sound political right. The central government of Nigeria, the party at the center, is working tirelessly to make Nigeria a one-party state. And one of their members yesterday said they're just interested in winning. Meaning winning is all that is important to them. The environment under which they win, the sustainability of that environment they win, is not important to them. You remember in our proverb, elders say, things that an elder sees sitting down, even if the children climbs to the topmost part of the Iroko tree, will not see it. Now, corruption can be blinding, and the selfishness can also be blinding. People have been winning elections in Nigeria all over the world, but they don't disrupt the system to win the election. Even with the power you have as an incumbent, you use it to cajole, push, sabotage people to join your party so that you win. If you ask everybody to go to their maternal relations house, there will be nobody at home. So I want the APC to know, if you want all Nigerian politicians into your party and we have one party system, the elders and people who care about the peace of Nigeria and the continuous existence of Nigeria see it as doomsday. You can go ahead, do what you want to do. But no, you cannot say you don't know the implication of what you are doing just because you want to win elections. You are not the first party in Nigeria that have ever won elections. If you do well, you don't need to cajole people. In fact, it has gotten to the point where you see stories that go around is that, hey, you don't do anything. If you do anything, now that they've tested the power of emergency rule and both National Assembly to endorse it, that not even governors, that more have lined up, they're going to queue on the line and be defecting with the whole state structures into APC. And when that is done, you know what will happen? You just imagine a country where everybody is yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. When it was not yes sir, we have not gotten anywhere. Just imagine when it is yes sir. Fune fune dietua. Kedika fune fune yadi. In a semblance of what looks like multi-party democracy in Nigeria, this is where we are. Imagine when it is one party. Who will be asking questions? There will be no questions. You only receive answers. And those answers are people who ask, we answer. And they, of course, our imagination, you don't need to go far to imagine. Jonathan said, they are introducing one party state via the back door. And he warned that is invitation to crisis. Some people will sweep it under the carpet to win election. It's not to win election Obi go army. It is, where is the evidence that Obi was in the army? Obi is the army, can you boot here? So the central party, the ruling party, can cajole, intimidate, woe, draw, use, strategize, do invite, convert, convict, convince people to join their party. And then when they settle, abattoirs are go mile. And what people are saying, that we know, how will you describe Nigeria then? What better despotic, brutal environment will you have when you have one party system in Nigeria? Well, as now they see no do am I head in Ketamwa. You look at the tail of a dog and know whether the dog is happy or not. When the dog is wagging his tail, you know the way he wags it, whether it's left or right, people who train dogs know. So you have to know. If we look from far and see where this thing is going, it's going to render Nigeria, it make Nigeria worse than we met it. And that's not the dream of anybody who thinks you want a country where you thrive and succeed as a politician, get to the highest peak of authority, rule, and reign, and still leave Nigeria. Because soldier go, soldier come. Nigeria will remember. And the history will be written. And those people who are doing this, they are the ones who marry almost 10 wives. So they have children all over. Unless they're going somewhere where the God's own countries that so much described. Build another extension of Nigeria. If this Nigeria, they will leave all these, their children, the ones begotten by their wives, original wife, second wives, the concubines, side chicks, all answering their name and are being maintained by their wealth. They will still be in this environment. Is it not insensitive that they are not thinking about those people that are living behind? Are they thinking they will be in position of authority in Nigeria forever? Where are the Azikiwes? Where are the Worowos? Where are the Balewas? But we sang a hymn here for Pope. By our works, we shall be remembered. Let's move on. APC, as a ruling government, will rule Nigeria, but the history will write about how they rule Nigeria. If it is during their own time, on tenure of ruling Nigeria, we have Nigeria as a one-party system, they will add it to their feathers. There's nothing we can say.
Right. I mean, to think that, the president, was an opposition leader for a long time, especially in the Southwest. you would think that he would allow the opposition to thrive. I mean, given that he was allowed to thrive in that space for quite a while before that alliance that happened in 2014 led them to create the APC. So does it then mean that those whom we see as opposition leaders today, those who criticize this government, given what we're seeing, because again, you can even date back as Nadeko period. He was part of those who, fought in the Nadeko period. So you wonder whether those who are in opposition today, the likes of Sowore, Peter Obi, Atiku, would even do worse if they eventually find the opportunity.
It takes us to what Peter Obi said during the what they call the tribute to Clark in Abuja. He was asking, where are the people who occupied Nigeria and made sure Goodluck Jonathan was removed from office? Eventually, the sitting president of Nigeria respected Bola Ahmed Tinubu Jagaban. Is now the president of Nigeria. He was a very strong frontman in Nadeko. They fought to retain democracy and came. And that's why we're saying that you have to be careful when you are following anybody and politicians. Some of them in Nigeria, along the line, kowtowed to excessive power. And that's what has happened. Under Nadeko, it was assemblage of good citizens who have respect, and they checkmated themselves. After all, the Nobel laureate, he was a member, and all the people who even laid their life down in the fight of democracy, and the ones who are enjoying that democracy fought for now, are the ones who are bringing abuse. History will haunt them. Because we still ask the same question. Are they not the same person who occupy Nigeria? Made the massive mega event rally. Oh, we are speaking, it was sweet. I remember somebody like a former governor of Edo State who used to be the Labour, when we were growing up, the Labour leader for NLC. When he speaks then, Nigeria will catch fire. What happened when he was governor of the Edo State? What happened when he became chairman of a ruling party in Nigeria? You see, so this is kind of what he does to human being power. And that's why they defined a refined, filtered democracy. They make sure they put checks and balances to those. But in raw state like Nigeria, where we are just coming out with democracy, see the light of day. When a child invests his first money, he thinks the world is like that. That is what's happening to developing the democracies. Like Nigeria. Democracy, Nigerians say, they've seen democracy, see the benefit, it's like, wow! But they didn't know. There's trap in every freedom. This kind of freedom democracy gives them. Where were they when the armies were there? Now, some people let their life challenge the army. Army went back to the barracks. Now they gave it to them. And that history will haunt to them. Can you imagine it? Somebody will stand and tell you that the one-party system is good, that they are just want to win election. Is that how Azikiwe West and Awolowo was won their own election? It wouldn't be possible for Balewa, Azikiwe, all of them to form one party, and then they held Nigeria down up to today. None of them will even see the history of it. But they were in different things, speaking their own thing, trying to protect interests. That is what makes democracy. But democracy in the hand of corrupt politicians can become deadly. That you begin to ask questions. Do we really need democracy in Africa until we get to a certain level of maturity? Because we can't handle it. We can't. It's now, like some people are talking about religion that was brought. In those days, missionaries lay down their lives, mosquitoes chop them, bite them, they will go to Lokoja, you see a massive cemetery dedicated to people who came to Nigeria to bring us missionary, good gospel of redemption and civilization. They led their lives. Now the ones who have handled it, our fellow Nigerians who have become priests and church leaders, what are they doing? Don't you find some massive corruptions and things happening among them? That is Nigeria for you. So we need to watch it. Otherwise, anything that's sweet can kill. That's what my father told me. This is a sweetness, this sweet level of democracy. If not handled well, it will become poison. So this is the time Nigeria has grown 64 years after to see that we make our democracy more mature instead of going there, look for the beautiful one, pick it and eat, and leave the dirty one. If you are ready to eat the good fruit of democracy, find a way of sorting out the dirt. Who are you leaving it for? When you finish eating, clear the plate, clean it up so that somebody will come back. That sustainability of democracy in Africa is a threat. It's under threat. It's under threat. With this, you call yourself giant of Africa. Of course, a lot of people have abandoned that giant. They see us as ants of Africa. And what is happening that they've even abandoned. Nothing is coming from Nigeria that affects them. They don't even see any hope in us again because we are derailing and degenerating. And anybody who wants to say it, they think you're not. It's not. I'm not a kid. I also have children and they have future. If I don't think about it, I live and die. Where will they stay? Which country we call them, make them citizens? Where God has put them. Some individuals, because they have power, we mess it up and we're looking for where to japa. There's nothing you do for your girlfriend's son to call you papa. No matter what citizen of the world you hold, you cannot be a citizen. You only be second citizen. And second is second. Even the feeling United Nations, no United Nations has said you go anywhere become citizen. They still ask you, what second citizen do you hold? Meaning, second citizen is recognized everywhere. You can never be first. So you better go back where you have power to talk and speak with your heads high is where you are first citizen. And Nigeria is where we hold the first citizen. So people who want to destroy it, we will talk. Whether they like it or not. Because tomorrow, the only thing that we spoke. We cannot be adults and stay at home and goats are giving birth at the ropes. That is an error. So that is the only thing that appears everywhere, in Tribune everywhere, one party system, everybody. Global trade war to push Nigeria to grow what it eats, FG. We said, Osita at the mod babo, because Nigeria should have, we were growing what we were eating. We did not have issues. Until hunger terrorism came in. Nigeria, we are fighting it, the war back, they didn't know what is to hit us. Now, you grow what you eat. Federal government probably will have farm settlements where they put the youth coppers, settle them there, protect them with army. Otherwise, if it's the sustenance agriculture that has sustained us over time, my grandmothers and great-grandmothers cannot go to the farm to harvest their ugu leaves and then sell the excess to the local market, which some people from the city will come and buy and come and sell at margins of excessive killing and all that. It's no more. All this talk. Nigeria is facing food insecurity very soon. It has hit us. We see how much we sell penta of gari, penta of rice, penta of beans. The most stable, if they are stable again, because they are most unstable. When gari, penta of gari, in Enugu, it's over 2,000 naira, depending on where you're buying from. Something is wrong. And well, it's only cassava that will give you gari. And the women that go to plant their small farms of cassava and the selling, for people who add value to make it gari, are no more there. We're going to eat sand soon in the name of gari. Because it's getting to the point. What has changed? When you buy a penta of gari in Nigeria, or half penta 2,000 naira, who will afford that? That is a liter of fuel in Nigeria, 2 liters of fuel for 1 penta of gari. 2 liters of fuel for a penta of gari, for half penta of gari. For a family of how many? Half penta of gari is not up to the real cup, cigarette cup they used to measure. It's not up to 4 cups. How will you make that money? In which environment? This environment where everything has hiked?
I mean,
Rising insecurity, Charles, because I know our times.
Yeah.
FG orders new strategy amid fresh attacks in Benue. And then we say Army Captain, Benue APC chieftain, others killed in terrorist wreak havoc on both sides. As the thing continues, as we are talking, they are doing their own thing now, they're speaking grammar. Whether you will visit, whether Muhammad will go to the mountain or Muhammad to go to Muhammad.
I think
Muhammad,
we'll elaborate on that a little later on the show today.
I think we'll try and do that.
Yeah.
Then the U.S. helicopter firm indicted in Wigwe's death. That's medicine after death. Whatever they are putting there is just jojo. They could have seen this and protect anything that will make us numb. But even that, the rich also cries. LP crisis, Abure probe begins. Why King Gibe and others suspended? They are saying, I keep using that word, I don't know why, that the chicken, he brought a plate of food to eat and the chicken went and pecked on it with and you just pursue the chicken only to turn your back and turn and see the chicken with 2 legs. The chicken's 2 legs inside your plate of food. That is what the LP is doing. It started with the Abure that never existed. Some people came and said, let us, and they saw a light at the end of it all. That's why I told you, Akuyema Tegu. Easy, what obedience brought to LP that is making, they went talk, and they finished. All the people they set to go to represent them is, imagine you are saying what Peter Obi did. To go and represent them, 12 states. They couldn't consolidate it. They were fighting who become chairman, and those people are defecting, going on. They are the ones now. Can you imagine that the party that want to leave is suspending OT? The only OT address that LP had in Nigeria is under suspension. And you want to call LP, what do you call that one? Na PL. Well, I pity them. Now they have perfected the act of self-destruction when they destroy onye obaya okpokoro abotobi eweli ekpolunku. If you call your oba okpokoro, that is common. Your neighbor will use it to carry the ash of the last night cooking. Well, Charles, just wish. What else can we do? I've done the best I can do today. God bless Nigeria. Let's move on.
Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate you for your insight on the front pages of the dailies. So we're back after this. Do stay with us.
Save Nature TV. News in your pocket.